Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Renee,
And I'm Debbie, and we are
the
Roundtable
Roundtable
Recap.
Recap. Hey, welcome back. We are on episode 5, season 3 of Traitors UK, and let's jump into it. Starting with the traitor turret.
For it?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to say about that?
All right, well, they start off with revealing who the traitors chose to recruit from the last episode, which is Anna, and ultimately she refuses to join them. Were you surprised by this?
I don't know. This group is so much different than anything that I've seen in other shows. So I didn't really get a strong sense that anybody really wants to be a traitor yet. So no, in a way, it really didn't surprise me. I mean, she gave her reasons why she declined the recruitment, and I think those are valid reasons.
Yeah, I think I agree with the statement that this season we have a lot of people that don't, or at least I get the sense that don't want to step up to be a traitor given the
Right.
option. But I mean,
Yeah.
how she explained herself, it does make sense. I think she knew right off the bat that she would be basically the scapegoat for them. So she ran the risk of being murdered, but she ultimately decided to reject the recruitment.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think in a group like this, I think if they're going to recruit, I think the way to recruit is recruit or you're going to be murdered. Either accept or you're going to be murdered. I think that's, for this group anyway, it seems to be that's probably the only option that will work
yeah.
when they recruit. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise no one's gonna wanna do it. Not at all.
Yeah.
And then we just moved to the breakfast where Leanne thinks that she was the target of why nobody was murdered because she was the one who Fozia gave the shield to. So that was also revealed this episode.
I didn't really get that. I mean, yeah, because even I think Joe said the same thing. Oh, they tried to go after Leanne. But why not the others? Why not Mina and Tyler and who was the other one that was protected?
Uh
Dan, I think,
yeah,
maybe.
Dan.
Yeah, why was it all focused on Leanne? That I didn't really get. The others,
Oh, I see
you
what you're
know,
saying. Yeah, because nobody knew who
Alexander.
Alexander, I don't know why I want to call him Alejandro. Yeah, I don't know why nobody pointed that out. That is a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just thought it was weird. Yeah, that she automatically thought, oh,
she
I
was
was
the
the target.
target. Yeah,
Yeah, but you had the other three who were, Alexander didn't disclose who he gave it to, but they narrowed it down to three people. So it wasn't like
yeah,
that was the only shield that was out there.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think Anna though, if I was her, I would have done what she did as far as kept it on the down low at this point to not say, "Oh, they tried to recruit me." Because either way, I think it's bad lighting on that person because now people have already suspected her, and then she's gonna say she got recruited, said no, she passed up on the opportunity, and I feel like it just would have painted a bad light regardless of if she said it and said that she denied it or not.
Yeah, I think it's a lose lose situation.
Yeah,
So I think,
exactly.
but but if you're gonna keep silent, if you're not gonna say anything at breakfast,
Yeah,
then don't
which we
say
find out
anything.
later. She comes clean to a person, which yeah, I didn't agree with because either you say everything up front at the breakfast
Mhm. Right.
or you just don't say anything at all.
Yes.
So moving on, they show Leanne and Anna suspecting Lisa because
Mhm.
I would have thought it was odd behavior too, how Lisa, I believe, was hugging Anna, and then Lisa also didn't have a reaction when Leanne said she had the shield because Lisa was
Mhm.
just like, "Oh, okay." And I kind of
Yeah.
liked that they showed Leanne immediately tell Mina at the breakfast table about Lisa's reaction because you can kind of see how their connection is. She trusts
Right.
Mina,
Yeah.
I should say, how strong Leanne trusts Mina.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree with Lisa's behavior. Raises
Hmm.
some questions, which again, in traders, always puts the spotlight on you.
Yep. Anything out of the ordinary.
Right.
So then they move off the breakfast table. Did you have anything else?
No, no, it was after the breakfast table. Yeah, when Mina talks to Freddie.
Where Freddie points out that the four alliance groups, so clearly it's known to people that there's this strong alliance of Livy, Leanne, Tyler, and Leon. Freddie basically says to Mina that he thinks one of them has to be a traitor.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Mina's like, yeah, all for it. Yeah, I think so too. Like,
I'll jump on that bus.
right, right. I mean, why not?
Yeah, yeah, because that's creates another target. I know this episode there was a lot of targets in this episode.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I have Dan, Charlotte, and Alex. They start to think Tyler has to be a traitor. Then Jake and
Right,
Fozia think Lisa or Linda one of them is a traitor.
right.
Which
Yep.
Fozia, man, she is perceptive. She is a sharp person just for entering the game and not being there from
Yeah,
day one, really.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I agree. I think well, it comes later on, but when Fozia speaks with Linda,
yeah.
yeah, that was after the mission. But anyways, yes, I think Fozia is playing a good game. Maybe a little too sharp and gets people's attention, but
hmm
yeah, I think
Yeah,
she's
she's very outspoken, and I see, and I think had Fozia been in the game from the get-go with Armani, I don't think
mhm,
Armani would have stood out as much because Fozia is playing, in my eyes, a very similar game where she's just outspoken and confident with what she's saying, where
yes.
I think it would have kind of shielded Armani a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, because Armani stood out by herself. But yeah, Posia is very confident. She's got things to say and she's picking up on different clues.
And it's good
But
clues. She knows what she's seeing, which I'm kind of hoping for the traders, it's not good. I think they need to get rid of her as quick as possible. But I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out as far as how far she goes and what she can pick up.
yeah, so I liked when she spoke with Linda.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, Linda, this is not the person you need to be talking to because
Yeah.
and I mean, I think it does cut. This is, yeah, as you said, this is after the mission, but I think it does cut to Linda saying how Fozia needs to go. And I was like, at
Yes.
least Linda is correct on that statement. But I
Right.
think she should have been a little bit more careful in what she said
Hmm.
and her reactions with Fozia.
Yeah, I think with Linda, she thinks maybe other people aren't that smart or aren't smarter than her. I don't know because the things that she says, it's like, no, no, don't say that. Don't do that.
I know, I know. I had such high hopes for Linda. I thought she was going to be a good trader, but as the episodes go by, I'm like, oof, I see like the different mistakes
Mhm.
she keeps making on her end.
So,
Yeah.
do you want to move into the mission then?
Yep.
They have to go through a fun house. It's just a series of doors, and they
hmm
have to carry their golden balloon, which is worth £1,000. If they go into the wrong door, then they lose their balloon will pop. And I think there's 5 doors, if
Yeah,
I'm
there's either
correct.
four or five for
No,
each
it's
set of
it's
doors.
it's more than four. I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 6 doors. I think it's 5 doors they have to go through.
But then there's five different sets of doors that they have to go through for like
Oh,
each
right,
level,
right,
five different levels if you want to call them that.
right.
And
Yes.
they're paired up except for Dan. He's the only solo. Everyone else though has a partner to
Hmm.
pick the doors
Right,
with. And then the twist is if they get through the fun house, the doors, the first set, they're the ones that win the shields.
right. Who goes
And
first?
this was a mistake. I really thought it was a dumb decision on Lisa and Linda's part to volunteer to go first right away.
Yeah. Yeah, with this group,
And
I would not volunteer for anything. I would sit back. I
yeah, it
mean,
seems to be that's the way to play with these players is no, don't volunteer to go first. Don't put yourself out there
mhm,
because you look like a target.
right. Yeah.
Essentially,
Okay.
like your selfishness comes off as being
Yeah. Either you're confident you don't need the shield or,
right, because you must be a traitor, right? You don't need the shield, so yeah, go first.
like I said, this is an unusual group for traders. I'm used to seeing people play a little bit more aggressively or just play, instead of just sitting back. But
Mhm. Yeah. So Lisa and Linda go through the door. They get it wrong right away. Because as they're
right.
going through the door, they have to explain what door they go to help the other teams go through the doors to make the right choice. Because everything can
Hmm.
be heard when they're inside this fun house. So yeah, I mean, pretty much they go, they're out. Dan goes, he's out. Charlotte and Anna go, they're out. Frankie and Alexander, they make it to the second of the last doors, which then Leanne and Leon volunteer to go next, and then they're the ones who make it through and win the
Yeah,
shields.
I thought Alexander and Francesca, they did really good. They made it, well, by the time they got to the first set of doors, they already knew which door to go through. So, but they actually made it through the second and the third and the
Mhm.
fourth door
Yeah,
without any errors.
yeah. Thanks to them, I feel like is the reason why so many of the leftover teams were able to make it through, just because
Yes.
they kept making the correct choice. And that's really it for the mission. I mean,
Yeah,
there
except
was no
those
other.
clowns that
What about the clowns?
the clowns come out, those
Oh, well,
scary
yeah.
clowns.
Okay, so if they choose if they choose the wrong door, then yes, a clown comes out of the door and pops their balloon. I would
Yeah,
absolutely hate this mission. I do not like
yeah,
clowns.
yeah. Because everybody was like, "Why are they screaming? Why are people screaming?"
I know. That would have been me. I would have screamed. Yeah.
So 5 teams got through, so they added another 5,000 to their prize fund.
Which I thought was good overall. It seems like
Yeah.
that's what they're averaging for each mission at this point. But the next note I have is on Freddie, where they were all talking, and it was like a big group because he had a group in front of him, and then it showed people
Hmm.
also behind him in the same room. And
Right.
basically, he brings up his suspicions to the group that one of the people in that for alliance is a traitor. And I don't know. I even rewinded this part because I was really confused about why Livy especially got so defensive of this.
Hmm.
Like I think Livy and Tyler didn't like that he called them
Clicky.
clicky. Yes, I don't know. I didn't understand why they got so defensive. I was
Yeah,
very confused.
I think they were just comfortable with that, with their group of four, and to have somebody come in and hack it. I think that's why she got defensive about it. Just the idea that I think she just felt close to a team of four. That's the way I interpreted it, anyways.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense, but he's just
Hmm.
saying his thoughts. And granted, obviously, people don't like the spotlight put on them, but I mean, I didn't
Hmm.
understand the degree of why she got so upset. And then, of course, she started crying because, as this group does, they cry. Like, it
Yes.
just, I don't know. I thought the emotions were heightened when they didn't really need to be. And I feel like
Yeah.
Leon out of that group was the most level-headed one.
Yes. But Mina liked the chaos,
Yeah,
which,
of course. Yeah.
yeah,
She was all
yeah,
for
as a
it.
trader.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but then I was thought it was funny because then when Livy leaves the room and down the hallway, and then Linda's there to comfort her. Again, I don't know about Linda.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Yeah, it seems like Mina
mhm.
is doing more strategizing than Linda is.
Yeah,
So Linda just kind of floats.
I really love Mina as a trader. I think she's doing a
Yeah,
really good job as far
yeah.
as her gameplay.
Well, she's planting the seeds and just watching how things get stirred up. Linda, she's just in self-preservation mode, I think. I don't know. I don't know what game she's playing.
Yeah. I don't know either. I think Linda at this point is just being Linda maybe and not playing a game. That's the only
Yeah, there's
conclusion
no
I can.
strategy. I mean, I don't see any strategy anyway.
Yeah. So now I have that Leon, Leanne, and Freddie start suspecting Tyler,
Hmm.
which is good, obviously, for Freddie at this point because a lot of suspicion was on him, and now people are kind of like agreeing with him. And then to go along with that, I have so now Jake, Charlotte, and Frankie don't believe Freddie is a traitor anymore. So it does feel like Freddie is now starting to not have so much heat on him, which is really good. Because as we know,
All right.
he's actually a faithful.
Yeah. Well, I think when the theory about the four, I think it just makes sense to the group. I mean, they don't have a bunch of leads, and so I think when
Hmm.
when somebody comes up with a good theory, they just kind of go with it.
Okay, so that's all I really had. There's more call outs of people suspecting Tyler, but then just jumping into the round table.
And Leon starts it, and then Leon joins in, going after Tyler at the round table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dan calls out Tyler as well for taking all the
Hmm.
credit for the whole Armani thing.
Right.
And, he reminded that he's the one who actually brought it up. But I do
And
have,
Jake, mhm.
uh
I had that Jake also jumps on the bandwagon going after Tyler
yep,
instead of Linda.
yeah. But I mean, I do have also that Anna brings up Lisa
Yes.
because Lisa is quiet and then Lisa's defense was not a good defense because she's just basically nonchalant about it and it's like, well,
Hmm.
I get it. If you want to vote for me, then vote for me,
Yeah.
which
Well,
doesn't help.
yeah, they were picking up on the fact that all her voting was so random. Like she's just all over the place.
Yeah. Linda's
Kind of a
kind of all
Linda
over.
thing.
Yeah.
I
Linda's all over the place. And then Livy gets emotional again.
thought it was funny while Livy was going on her rambling thing against, trying to defend Tyler, and then Claudia just cuts her off.
Oh, yeah.
Enough.
Yeah. And the funny thing to me is the fact that Freddie is a faithful and Livy's just so, I think, in her head about everything. And that's why she's like, I see Freddie giving me the side eye over here. And like, oh my God. Okay. All right. But, anyways, Claudia says, okay, it's time to vote. And the majority obviously chooses Tyler. He's the one who gets voted out.
Which is kind of sad. I felt bad for Tyler. I really liked him. I thought he could be a benefit, to the game, but yeah.
Yeah. Feelings about Tyler are kind of mixed. Like I said before, I don't think he was the sharpest tool on picking up things.
The whole group is like that. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
so
I mean, I guess so. I get, yeah. But I mean, there's so some people who pick up on more things than others. He just didn't really stand out to me in anything. So,
see, I'm not a fan of Anna's. I would rather have seen somebody like Anna go, rather than Tyler.
yeah.
To me, Anna doesn't bring anything to the game, so I would have liked to have seen Tyler stay.
Yeah, we haven't really seen her bring a whole lot of strategy or thoughts of who she believes or suspects. I mean,
Right,
the same could be said about Alex too, though. Alex is one of the ones who
right,
kind of disappear in the background. But
yeah. So somebody like that. I mean, at this, I forget which trader it was. It may have been a Trader US, one of the seasons, and I can't remember who it was that was just voting to get people out because they knew at the end of the game you can't take everybody with you to the end of the game. So if you're a bad faithful, vote them out because they're not contributing anything. Which I kind of like
yeah,
that strategy. I like, if you're not bringing anything to the game, vote them out. Let's just narrow it down to the people who want to play.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that would make sense to me. That's how my votes would be, especially if you don't have someone that's clearly on the radar or that person doesn't have enough votes yet. Then, yeah, you might as well get someone who's basically just floating in the game. So then
Yep.
after the round table and the voting out, I do show that Jake and Joe, they start talking and they kind of bring back up the whole thing about Linda again.
Hmm.
And then it cuts to really Lisa. This is her moment.
Well, before that, because an important point that comes up, because it's going to carry over into the next episode, was when Jake and Linda talk. Because right after Jake and Joe talk about Linda, then Jake talks with Linda, and
Mm,
Linda brings
hmm.
up about how she's emotional, but she hides her
Yo,
emotions.
yep, yep.
So I mean, and I like Jake. At first, I didn't like Jake because he was going after a traitor, but actually seeing Linda's gameplay, I prefer Jake. He's perceptive. He's got a good strategy. So I like Jake. So he puts that in his memory bank about hiding her emotions.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
just shaking my head. Because, yeah, that conversation, I didn't note it, but yeah, it does play a big, big part later on. So
Then
then
they pick up
Lisa,
with.
and yeah, she comes clean about being a priest, so she's ordained.
Mhm, mhm,
And the only one that they show really at this point is Anna still really questioning it. Like
mhm,
if this is a lie or if this is like a gameplay or if she's actually being honest.
right.
I have that Anna now tells Charlotte about her being recruited. That's the only one that Anna confides in at this point. Did you have
Yeah.
any other hints
No, I'm
between
just
that?
like wondering why is everybody coming clean? It's like, you know, Lisa comes clean, then I don't know why Anna even said anything. You know,
Yeah, and why she only chose one person?
yeah,
Because even if she was trying to make it seem like, okay, yes, if I get murdered tonight, it's because they didn't recruit me, which I think that was her intention of telling Charlotte. But it's not going to help because she didn't say it to the group. She only said it to Charlotte, which would
right.
only put really Charlotte in the hot seat going forward. You know, people it like say if Anna got
Hmm.
murdered and Charlotte comes the next day and is like, "Hey, Anna said this," I think that would turn heads to Charlotte. I don't know. I didn't see any
Yeah, yeah.
good
The way
reason
that
for
this
it.
group goes, yeah.
Yeah. So then they go to the trader's turn and basically they narrow it down, Linda and Mina, to three people, Fozia, Anna, and Livy. I
Yep.
100% would have done Fozia.
Yes. Well, yeah, Fozia or Anna.
I mean,
But
but
yeah,
Anna
Fozia,
doesn't have, I don't think Anna's very much a threat. So
yeah, for the traders, yeah. For Fozia is more of the threat. Anna, just get rid of her because she just needs to be banished.
just get her out of there. And Livy, because you're
Yeah,
emotional. We don't understand. I don't
right.
understand your outburst.
Yeah.
But no, Fozia.
So,
Fozia is who I definitely would have gone after.
okay, that's all that I have.
That's all I have. So we will see you next time for episode 6 to find out who they murder.
Yay.